Sure, we'll get started with this. Alright guys, welcome to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're going to do something a little bit different than we normally do. Well, yeah, we're going to be more focused on live trading here. Okay, I'm going to see if I can show you guys what it's like trading on Mexi exchange, Mexi cryptocurrency exchange. We see the Bitcoin is currently trading at $89,300 right now. We're near the lows for today. I actually got into a long just shortly here, not too long ago before the live stream started. And I'm looking to see if Bitcoin's selling pressure on the 5-minute time frame is starting to die down. And I'm looking to see if we're going to catch the lows for today. But who knows? I mean, it could end up going lower right now. Right now, we're seeing that the MACD, the 5-minute time frame, is showing that selling pressure is dying down, and we're starting to start to see some buying pressure increasing right now. However, it doesn't look too vigorous, so you know the long that I just got in on Mexi, it might actually get stopped out. But let's take a look at the Mexi exchange right now and see what's going on. Right now, the price of Bitcoin is at $89,314 here on Mexi exchange. This is what Mexi looks like, guys. The trading platform, pretty simple, pretty. Well, I'm sure if I should say simple, but it's pretty easy exchange to trade on here. Some of the coins you can trade for free. They have like $0 fees here, so that's a pretty cool feature here. Right now I got into Bitcoin. My average entry price was at 89,600, and the fair price right now is at 89,360. I could get liquidated at $87,000. I put a margin, margin at 184 bucks of margin in there. I'm down about 21 bucks on this trade as Bitcoin continues to go lower. My stop loss is at 89,200, so we're very close to getting me stopped out here. I usually keep my stop losses really tight. I try to look for pivot points on my trades here. And I'm just looking for the lows for today to be, respected. If not, if we're gonna go down to lower prices here, I might flip into a short here. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at here for Bitcoin and trading on Mexi. Right now, if I just blow this screen up a little bit bigger here, you can see that the lows for today on Mexi came in at 89,283. My stop loss is at 89,200. If we can't stay above 89,200, which is basically, I think that was a low for yesterday or 2 days ago. Can't really remember, but if I zoom in and go into the daily chart here, yeah, let's see what the price of Bitcoin was at. Yeah, 89,200. So if we're gonna break below 89,200, that was the low for yesterday, or I can't remember. Maybe it might have been Monday. But that low, right, if that gets broken, then we're probably going to go down further, okay? So I got my stop loss at that area right now. My entry price could have been better, $89,600, but it's like $400 above 89,200. I'm looking for a take profit at 91,500. That's my take profit if this trade actually stays alive here. And if I do that, let's just see, how much I would be able to make on this trade here. I'd be able to make about $155 here if we actually climb back up to 91,500. I could always take profit before that. I don't have to wait for 91,500, but I'm just trying to scoop up the lows for today. If we're going to stay above the price that the lows that we made earlier this week, then this should be a winning trade. It should be. But we shall see. Right now, like I said, my stop loss 89,200. I'll lose about 33 bucks on the trade if this ends up going south on me. If I end up losing the trade, I only lose about 33 bucks on this trade. With the leverage is at 40x long, and I'll end up losing about 18% of the money that I put in on margin here. I think I did about like $180 in margin. Okay, so that's a trade I'm looking for. But guys, I'm looking for another trade out there. If you guys have another trade that I should probably get into, a coin that you think is worth getting into, then let me know, because I am looking for trades. I'm looking to try to make some money today if I can, whether it's a long or a short. Give me your best trade setups if you got them. Okay, but let me check in the chat, see what you guys are saying right now. Let's see. Din says Nexi is nice to trade on. Yep. Dizzle says 88K, then we go up. You know, if that's the case, you know, we'll pay attention to the charts here. Maybe I can get back into a long at 88K instead of 89K here. Shafi's in the chat right now. Shafi is liking the live, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. And let me see if I can turn the music up just a little bit. I think I might have turned it down a little bit too far. But let's get some music playing here while we're waiting for the trade to play out. Okay. But anyways, let's get back into the charts. I like looking at TradingView to like game plan some trades here. We'll go back to Maxi if we need to. But yeah, let's look at the chart here. So, you know, what made me feel comfortable about longing right now is that this is the lows for the week. We haven't been this low since you know, let me just zoom out here on the 1 hour chart, but we haven't been as low as 89,183 bucks since Monday, November 17th, around like 11 o'clock at night. We also came down to like 89,247 around 1 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, and then 89,241 at 2 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday. So we're near the lows for the week, lows for the month, for that matter. I think it's worth taking a long, just a strategic long, and if we actually stay above and hopefully make a higher low, we don't want to go lower than 89,241. If we do go lower than 89,241, then, you know, it starts making a bearish case that we're not done going down yet. So, you know, this is not a risky long to take, because it is near the lows. I got my stop loss really tight. I'll be out of this trade if things go south here. And, you know, if this is going to be a breakout to the downside, I could flip to a short right now. Matter of fact, I probably should enter a short just in case. I could probably get that in there before before things go crazy here. But yeah, let me go ahead. I'm going to try to see if I can get a short going here on Bitcoin. That's one of the cool things about Mexi, is that you can do a long and a short at the same time. So let me just get that in there just in case, and I'll make the stop loss tight on the short as well. All right, but yeah, let's figure out what we're gonna do here. We're gonna do a market order. Let's see, how much margin will I use? About $99 or about $100 for margin. Let's do the take profit stop loss here. I'm gonna see if we can take this down to $88,000 on Bitcoin. It gives me the long and the short. It says that if I short it down to $88,000, I'll make like 58 bucks on that trade. And then the stop loss, I don't like to lose more than 20 bucks on a trade, so let's see. I'll probably keep it really tight though. We're trading at 89,345, so let's make that 89,600. Yeah, actually I can do more than that, because I can do, let's say 89,800. How about that? Let's see, that gives me about a $16, you know, stop loss. I'll lose 17% on that short. So yeah, this is just a hedge bet, guys, in case we do decide to go down. Yeah, there we go. Opening up the short. Take profit at 88,000. Stop loss at 89,800. We're currently trading at yeah, looks like 89,474. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So I'm in the short now. Okay, we'll see which one plays out as we're trying to figure things out here. Looks like that short is already in the green. All right. And we'll just have to pay attention to the charts as we go along here. Let's go back into the charts here on Mexi Exchange. Go into a 5-minute chart here. And I'm paying attention to this MACD. I'm trying to see if buying pressure is going to steadily increase here in the 5-minute time frame. We're kind of like bottom, staying on the bottom. Oh, with green candle coming up on the 5-minute time frame. Are we gonna start going out? I'd rather see my short get stopped out and then us move up to higher prices here on Bitcoin. If we do go up to higher prices, there are some moving averages I like to look for on the 5-minute time frame. I want to see if we can get to that 50 moving average, that green line right there at 90,700. If we do that, I'll probably take some partial profit. My ultimate take profit is at 91,500, which is kind of like right where this red line is at. This is the 200 moving average on the 5-minute time frame. I'm just looking for that bounce back like everybody else, you know, on out there trading crypto and trading Bitcoin right now. But are we going to get that bounce back? Right now, this 21 EMA, this white line, is acting as resistance on the 5-minute time frame. You can see that we came up to it about 20 minutes ago, and we got rejected. So I wouldn't be surprised if we came up to that 21 EMA one more time and get rejected. That 21 EMA is sitting at 89,800. Okay, I think that's actually where I put the stop loss for my for my short here. So we'll see if I get stopped out on the short or if I get stopped out on the long. I think the long is gonna hold, but we shall see. We shall see. Stop loss on the long is at 89,200 here. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here on the chat on TikTok. Dizzle likes the live. All right, Dizzle, thank you a lot, Dizzle, for liking the live here. I will do some requests if you guys want to take a look at some other cryptocurrencies besides Bitcoin. Just gotta let me know which one you want me to take a look at. MB says Bitcoin's going to 65K. All right, well, let's see. You think that? When do you think Bitcoin's gonna hit 65K? Because if you have any idea, I would like to know, and then I could actually start shorting Bitcoin right now and try to take it down to 65K. I see Dale's in the chat. Dale's asking for Solana. Okay, we can take a look at Solana. Why not? While we're sitting in this trade on Bitcoin, waiting for it to do one thing or the other here. All right. So let's take a look at Solana real quick here. Solana currently at $132.54. Let's get into the daily time frame, and then I can work it down to the maybe down to the 1 hour time frame, see what that looks like. But Solana currently, as you already know, Solana down in price here, below the 200-day moving average. So when you're below the 200-day moving average, I have to automatically look for shorts. I have to look for the bearish case here, because when you're below the 200-day moving average, you're doing worse than you did for like the last 200 days on average. Okay, so I consider that a bear market. Solana entered this bear market on November 3rd here, okay, when we lost that 200-day moving average. If we were to climb back up to that 200-day moving average, we have to get back up to $180 on Solana. I feel like that's a tall order. That's a lot to ask for, but you know, it's crypto. Anything's possible here. On the daily time frame, I would, reasonably expect Solana to at least get a bounce back up to that 21 EMA at some point. Right now, the 21 EMA is at $157. If we can get back up to $157, I'd probably look to, take a little bit off the table on my spot bags if I had Solana spot bags here, because this 21 EMA is probably going to act as resistance going forward on the daily time frame. So that's something to take into consideration here on the daily time frame here for Solana. Anything good going on here with the oscillators? You can see that selling pressure is kind of died down. They are trying to put up a little bit of a fight here on Solana over the last couple of days here. You want to see selling pressure continue to die down and then actually get some green candles like you saw here towards the end of October. Get a MACD flip, and that would cause the price of Solana to go up, probably up towards that 21 EMA, that white line there. Okay, but right now everything's in suspect territory, because last time we saw selling pressure die down, it stopped midway and then it started increasing again. So is that going to happen again here for Solana? Are we going to see selling pressure die down only for us to then see it increase again? We shall see. We shall see. Let's get into the 1 hour time frame, because I'm assuming that you might be a day trader here. If not, you know, it's whatever. But let's see, if you were trying to day trade Solana right now, the lows came in for today, came in at $130. That was about an hour ago. Was that the low for the week? Not really. The low for the week was on Monday here, where Solana was trading at $128.64. You know, the whole trick to making money is to buy low and sell high. So, I mean, we are near the lows for the week. You know, because the lows for the week was at $128. And right now, Solana's trading at $132. You could put a stop loss. I mean, you could put the stop loss right below the low for today at $130. You know, if Solana actually comes down to like maybe you put it at like $129. If Solana comes down to $129, then that probably means it's on its way down to lower prices here, and it's probably going to take out the low that it did here on Monday as well. So we shall see. We shall see. Now let's see if there's anything, any bullish action going on in the oscillators here. On the 1 hour time frame, the selling pressure is still increasing. Okay. You would need Solana to actually start going up right now in price, and then you might see a pink candle show up like you did here on Monday. And you see, when you start seeing more pink candles showing up, that means selling pressure is dying down, and the buying pressure should start increasing where you get some green candles here. I would love to see that here with Solana, where we could just see the selling pressure die down and us go up to higher prices, and then buying pressure increasing like we saw here on Tuesday. Okay. Could we get a repeat of that on Tuesday going into like tomorrow? I don't know. But, you know, we shall see. That's why I feel like you could get in near the lows for today and you don't have to risk too much, right? You can put your stop loss at $129 or even $128 or $127, and you're not really risking too much if this ends up being the lows for the week or even the lows for the month and we go up to higher prices. I see Hulk Smash is in the chat. Good to see you, Hulk Smash. And Laureen's in the chat too. Good to see you, Laureen. Trying to watch the charts here as well, Laureen. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. But let's see what's going on here back here on Mexi. I was on Mexi. I actually entered a short and a long. I am trying to be bullish here on Bitcoin. I got my stop loss at 89,200, which is the low for the week. If we lose 89,200, that means we're going even lower than what we did on Monday. Okay. And if we do go lower than what we did here on Monday, that's why I got my short in here as well on Mexi, because I want to take advantage of whatever breakout that we get to the downside here, if we do get a breakout to the downside. But right now, you can see that I am both long and short on Bitcoin. I got a 40x short and a 40x long on Bitcoin. And yeah, right now the short is kind of playing out right now, unfortunately. I entered the short at 89,472. I entered the long at 89,612. My stop loss on the long, like I said, was 89,200, right over there. And on the short, the stop loss is at 89,800. What I game plan for that was, if the short actually gets taken out, it's going to get taken out probably at this 21 EMA. If anything, entering at the 21 EMA is probably a better entry, because every time we get up to the 21 EMA, we get rejected. Okay, so I probably should have waited the short at 89,800 where that 21 EMA is at. But hey, you know, there's no guarantee that we're actually going to go up there in the first place either. We could just end up going down. So kind of playing both cases right here, long and short, trying to figure out. But I do think we're due for a bounce here, so I'm not really hopeful on the short playing out, even though it's in profit right now. I think I'd rather see the short get taken out and have this long play out to the upside. And if the long plays out, like I said, I'm aiming for this 50 moving average on the 5-minute time frame here. I'll take a partial profit at 90,654 if I can. And then I'll move the stop loss on the long to break even. And I'll be in a free trade that already paid me some money. And then I'm looking to try to push up to this red line here This is the 200 moving average on the 5-minute time frame. If I can see Bitcoin get up to that price, I would like to take profit. I actually put my take profit at 91,500, but I could always adjust that to the 200 moving average. Matter of fact, I can do that right now. I'm going to show you how I can change the take profit. With Mexi Exchange, you can actually move your take profit by clicking on it and just dragging it down to where you want it to go. So I could drag it right down to that 200 moving average on the 5-minute time frame. And now it says that my take profit is at 91,300. Uh-oh, something just got hit. Okay. Looks like my long just got canceled. We are going down on price. So looks like the short's gonna start playing out right now. Unfortunately, we're going down to low prices here, guys. Bitcoin's at 89,140. Okay. And my short is now in profit at 15 bucks here. And what I'll do now is I'll probably move the stop loss on the short, so I don't lose money on the short either. I'm going to move the stop loss to break even now. So I go here, I click on this, take profit stop loss. That's your TPSL, take profit stop loss. Click the edit button here. And what I can do is, I got in at 89,472, so I'll probably make it like 89,450. For stop loss, which will then limit my losses to where I actually make $1 if I get stopped out. Okay. My take profits at $88,000, so I'll make about $65 on this short if we actually go down to 88K here, and I'll be up about 65% on that short. So yeah, there we go. We're now in a short on Bitcoin. Taking it down to maybe 88K if possible here. My stop loss is near break even. My stop loss is actually, like I said, I have it at 89,450 with a $1 profit right now. That should cancel out the trading fee. I think it cost me like $1 to be in this trade. So, $1 just makes me break even. All right, so we'll see how this all plays out here. We'll stick to the charts here, and I'll try to get back in the live chat, see what you guys are saying next here. But yeah, Bitcoin still in a downtrend, still making lower lows. And we're at the lows for the week. We're lower than what we did here on Monday, unfortunately. Okay. All right, we got some guy here saying more shorting. Yeah, looks like that's the play for today. Ajax wants to take a look at Pepe. Okay, we'll take a look at Pepe for you. And I think that's it for the requests. I'll let you guys have another request or a trade idea or a trade setup. See what my guys here on YouTube are saying. You guys are being quiet today. And Dale asked for Solana. We already looked at Solana. I guess we'll take a look at Pepe while I'm waiting for this short to play out here on Mexi Exchange. All right, moving on to Pepe. Let's see, do you want a long or short Pepe? I guess that would help me figure out what the analysis would be for Pepe, but right now it seems like the shorts are winning here on Pepe. Pepe currently trading at 454, down 6.9% today, almost 7%. I'm looking at the 1 hour time frame, and you can see on the 1 hour time frame this 21 EMA, this white line acting as resistance. Sometimes we get above, and when we do get above, then the 50 moving average acts as resistance. I like using these moving averages when I'm day trading, because it gives me ideas like where I could put my take profits and also where I can put my stop losses. Okay, right now we'd be looking for a short on Pepe because that seems to be the thing that's playing out right now. Would have been nice to, if you were trying to short Pepe on Tuesday, or it looks like around like the end of Tuesday morning going into Tuesday afternoon, is where Pepe kind of got up to this 50 moving average, and you could have put your stop loss above the 50 moving average, the screen line, and your short would be playing out to the downside here. Now, how far down could Pepe go? kind of have to zoom out because like Pepe is like near the lows for the year actually now. We have to start going like into the daily chart to find out how much lower Pepe could go. Oh man, on Coinbase exchange, there's not much data here. I have to go into another chart here, another exchange. Let's see, Pepe on. I want to see Pepe on Binance. I got some more data now to look at for Pepe. Yeah, so alright, so Pepe does go down further. I mean, there is a candle wick low here on October 10th where Pepe got down to like 279. So that could be a target to look for. And then back here, looks like here on April of 2024, Pepe got as low as 393. So that could be another take profit target on your short there for Pepe. But if you lose 300 and you lose 279, then there's really not much support. Look at all this area for Pepe to drop down to. If you lose like 300, okay, you could probably end up coming right back down to where Pepe was trading at on February 2024, where Pepe was trading at like 100. That'd be a nice juicy short. Might be worth getting into. On Pepe here. So I think Pepe is looking like a good short rather than a long. The only way this thing is going to go back up again is if Bitcoin starts going up. But I think we made a determination that Bitcoin's kind of in a bear market right now. Only because Bitcoin's below the 200-day moving average and also down 20% from its all-time high. I think now Bitcoin's down 30% from its all-time high. So I would be looking for shorts rather than longs on Pepe. Hulk Smash, what is Hulk Smash saying? ETH alert firing off. Damn, we are going to the abyss, is what Hulk Smash is saying. And Lorraine said, long Bitcoin at $89,000, or you think we go lower? Let's get back into looking at the charts here for Bitcoin. We're now at 88,900, so let's since I'm in the daily time frame, let's try to figure out what the targets might be to the downside here for Bitcoin, with a longer time viewer. I was looking at day trading here, but let's look at if we're in a swing trade for Bitcoin, a swing trade short, how much lower could Bitcoin go? I do have a Fibonacci here that shows that there is a 0.236 level at 86,657 is a level to look for on Bitcoin. However, if I pull up the VRVP, which is giving us real-time data that shows where people were buying and selling at specific price points, it can give us these green and red bars here to the right. There is a value area low, this white line, sitting at like 83,700. So I think like anywhere between 84K, and if I zoom in here a little bit, there's also another high volume node here at like 88K. So, right now I'm targeting 88K on my day trade, but maybe later on this week, you might have already heard people talk about Bitcoin going to like 84, 85K. And that's mainly because of like right here on the VRVP indicator, there's a good amount of support here at 84K, okay? And then just looking at the chart at previous price action on the daily time frame here, you can see that there were people buying Bitcoin at 84K back here towards the end of April. Some people got the really good discount of like 74K, 76K towards the beginning of April, but a good amount of people bought Bitcoin at this area, so they're actually still in profit right now. And you would think that these people should hold us for some support. Okay, they're not going to actually click the sell button. The seller exhaustion should start coming to play here if we get down to like 84K. So I think 84K is the next area for us to go if 88K can't hold up. Right now, Bitcoin getting a little bit of bounce right now. We're at 89,300. Let's see what's going on in the 5-minute time frame here. Yeah, just a little bit of probably a dead cat bounce. We'll see if Bitcoin can get above this white line here, this 21 EMA on the 5-minute time frame, then there might be some hope. and that's at 89,530. Is that where that white line is hanging out at? So we shall see. We shall see. Let's look at the oscillators here real quick. Let's see what I'm a little bit curious what the MACD is doing here on Bitcoin. So, you know, I was excited to get into a long on Bitcoin this morning, or towards the end of this morning, going into this beginning of this afternoon, because I saw selling pressure was dying down as we were coming down on price. So that was like a little bit of a bullish divergence on the MACD there. And we actually got a little bit of a flip there. And I tried to get into Bitcoin basically around these prices that we're at right now. But my long got taken out. We actually came down lower to like 88,800 here. So a little bit of games here, but I think overall we are still heading down unless we get a nice vigorous bounce to the upside here. And let's see, already, yep, so you see the 21 EMA, that white line. Let me get rid of this VRVP indicator. But this white line is acting as resistance one more time here. You can see that we got rejected. We got a candle wick here on the 5-minute time frame. And yeah, if we're not able to get back up there and close above this 21 EMA on the 5-minute time frame, then we're probably going to go down to lower prices until we can generate some more demand for Bitcoin here. So that's what I'm seeing on the charts here, unfortunately. So I could actually probably, if I could probably move my stop loss to right above this 21 EMA. I think my stop loss is already at that area, 89,530. Let me just double check my work here on my trade here. Oh, looks like I already got stopped out. So I already got stopped out on my short when Bitcoin made that little bounce there. Okay, can't win them all, but in that case, I just broke even, about $1 on that short. So now, you know, I'm in no trades right now. I could wait for us to come back up to that 21 EMA and try to short Bitcoin again. My bias is to actually short Bitcoin again if I can, but I'm trying to see if we can get up to a higher price here. Looks like the 5-minute candle, it's trying to push us down further. Yeah, so I might be late to this trade. I might not be able to get into that trade. Alright, so I got stopped out at my break-even point and the price is still going down. Lorraine says 86,500. Could we bounce here now looking for an entry? It's looking pretty weak right now, Lorraine. If you're trying to long Bitcoin right now, you're doing a very aggressive entry. I wouldn't really put too much leverage or even too much margin for that matter. Because what you should really be looking for is you should be looking for a higher low, and then you know you can go long on Bitcoin. Right now, we don't know where the higher low is because we're making lower lows literally at this moment on Bitcoin. Okay, what you want to see, Lorraine, you want to see Bitcoin come up, probably break past this 21 EMA on the 5-minute time frame, come back down. Maybe it comes down to the 21 EMA, uses it as support, and then shoots up to higher prices. And as it's, you know, climbing back up again, you probably enter on this higher low here and then put your stop loss below, you know, below the where you got in at, right? But below this higher low if it does get created here on the charts. But right now you're coming in right now just thinking like, okay, this is the lowest price or one of the lowest prices that Bitcoin's been at for today. You don't know if it's just going to continue going down like this. It could just continue going down and then hit your stop loss and then you lose more money. Alright, so this is a very aggressive entry. You want to wait for some confirmation where you make a higher, you know, hopefully a higher high or get above one of these moving averages here. Then come in, buy, you know, when it forms a higher low, and then you put your stop loss below the higher low. Maybe even put the stop loss below this, last low here. Okay, and that would be a more safer entry. That's what you should be looking for if you're trying to play this a little bit more smart. Playing it more conservative. This would be an aggressive entry. Over here would be more conservative entry. Okay, where you actually get a chance to see how things play out before you get into the trade. So that's if you're trying to go long right now on Bitcoin. Dizzle's asking, can you change your leverage after you're in the trade? You could by entering another trade or adding more, but when you do, you have to increase your leverage. I don't think you can decrease your leverage. I don't think it will let you decrease your leverage. I have to check that out for myself at some point here, but I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, you can change your leverage. You just, whatever you change it to, that becomes a new leverage. You can't go back to the old leverage unless you get out of the trade altogether, and then you could try going back to like lower leverage again. Rush at You is saying, do I think it'll drop down to the 60s? I mean, it's a possibility. A lot more likely than dropping down to like 15K or 10K. Am I using the double EMA? No, I'm not using double EMA. So for my moving averages that I'm using, I got the 200 moving average as that red line. The 100 moving average is the blue line. The 50 moving average is the green line. And those are simple moving averages. And then this white line is supposed to be a 21 exponential moving average. Okay. It actually might be a 21 simple moving average, but it's close enough. It usually does the same trick here. And then I set this up by going into my moving average indicator. I do the 5 moving average indicator here, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving averages that I can use. And I put it as 200, 100, the 50, and the 21. I don't use the 150 even though it's there. You can see I got that clicked off. Right, I don't really use that moving average there. And yeah, that's how I set up my moving averages here. You do the 10, the 50, the 100, and the 200. Okay. And then Asim says Bitcoin is going down some more. Yeah, it looks like it wants to do that, huh? Of course, it comes in, it takes out my short at break even, and then it decides to go down some more. Ugh. What the hell? I'm trying to see if we can climb back up to that 21 EMA on the 5-minute time frame here. If it can climb back up there, I'd like to enter another short. Let me go back into Mexi here so I can put that in there. So the 21 EMA on Mexi, once again that white line there, it's hanging out at 89,570. So I'm gonna put a limit order here in, and I'm gonna try to short Bitcoin at 89,570. Put how much are we gonna put in there? I'll probably try to put in like $100 in the for the margin. About $78 right there. Okay, I need a little bit more than that. That's about $107. Okay, and then yep, game plan to take profit, stop loss. So take profit. I'm still trying to see if we can take this down to 88K. So I'll make about $75 on the short there. And then the stop loss is going to be relatively tight for the most part. I'll probably put like $89,800 like I did it before. So I only lose about $10 on that short. I'm going to try to see if I can short at 89,570. And short stop loss is going to be 89,800. And I'll try to open up that short. So there we go. Double check our work here. Take profit is going to be 88,000. Stop loss is at 89,800. And let me try to get in at 89,570. Using about $107 a margin. And good to go. Alright, and it just says that my stop loss is really tight. It says that my stop loss could get triggered by keeping it tight like that. Whatever, I'm okay with that. So here we go. Alright, so if Bitcoin ends up climbing up to this 89,570 area, you can see I got I got a short ready to go. Right near that 21 EMA line. So now I just gotta see, just wait a little bit, see if it actually plays out. If I get a little bit anxious, maybe I short it at 89,500 if we get up to that area. But while I'm looking at Mexi, I like using the MACD indicator to try to give me an idea. Is like, are we getting buying pressure? Are we actually going up to higher prices here? Or are we selling off and getting selling pressure? You can see this is the MACD, the red over here. Then it turns into like hollow candles here. As it starts showing that selling pressure is dying down. And then we get into green candles here when buying pressure starts showing up. Right now, buying pressure is kind of weak. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get filled at 89,570. You want me to explain the EMA, the exponential moving average? I mean, there's resources for that online. I would probably start with looking at Investopedia to learn more, get the actual like textbook answer. But the exponential moving average, it just takes the data, right? It takes the moving averages and it just uses an exponential format for that, rather than just the simple data. That's like the best definition I can give you right now. Is it support? Yeah, well, I mean, right now it's going to act as resistance because it's above us. If we get above the 21 EMA, then it could act as support possibly here. But yeah, Bitcoin is just nosediving, cratering down. Almost every single moving average is like resistance at this point. Try looking at the 1 minute time frame. Yeah, even on the 1 minute time frame, Bitcoin is actually below most of the averages here, except the 21 EMA. So the 21 EMA, right, on the 1 minute time frame, the price is above it, barely. And this could act as support for now. So in the 1 minute time frame, we got 21 EMA acting as a possible support here. And it's showing that the 21 EMA is at 89,200 on the 1 minute time frame. And now this looks like the 50 moving average is acting as resistance on the 1 minute time frame. Then we got the 100 moving average here, this blue line, that could act as resistance if we ever get up to it. So different time frames, you can look at different time frames and it shows the chart in a different format here. It shows that the moving averages are different on different time frames here. So this is what it looks like on the 1 minute time frame. Let me just move on to the 5 minute time frame for you. This is what it looks like on the 5 minute time frame. Moving averages still above you here. And then 15 minute time frame. Moving averages once again above you on the 15 minute time frame. I'm looking at the 15 minute time frame. I see that selling pressure looks like it's trying to die off here. But that could be deceiving. You can't just use one indicator here. The selling pressure could die down and then start increasing again on the 15 minute time frame here. Z to the U says, first time watching this channel. What projects am I in? Thanks. So I'm not really in any particular projects. I am in some cryptocurrencies, but I sold more than 50% of my crypto portfolio after Bitcoin lost the 200-day moving average, after Solana lost the 200 moving average. That was like my criteria to get out of those coins. But I still have some Solana, and I also have Sui. So if that's what you're talking about for projects, I'm in Solana and Sui right now for, you know, my long-term spot bags. I guess if you want to call those projects, I'm in those projects. Solana and Sui. Dizzle says, you normally would swing at this. Alert went off, but your gut feeling says wait. Okay, so what do you mean by swing? Are you trying to get into a long or a short, Dizzle? And on what asset? And we have another question here. What about HBAR and Algo? Are those requests? You want me to take a look at HBAR and Algo? I'm going to go ahead and write that down. HBAR and Algo as possible requests here. Z to the U says you're looking to short. Yeah, shorting seems to be the thing to do for the month of November. And it's crazy because we all came into like November thinking like, oh, it's like the best month of the year for crypto, especially during a bull run. And it's almost like it did the exact opposite on us. Same thing with October. Oh my God, October. It's Uptober. But then it turned into Rectober, getting wrecked. Z to the U wants to look at for AI. Okay, I don't think I ever heard of that one. Is that a brand new cryptocurrency? Or is it a stock? And if it's brand new, I might not be able to look at it if it's not on one of these exchanges here. That's how I look at it on TradingView. I gotta look at the the data from the exchanges. All right, but let's take a look at HBAR real quick here for one of the requests. And I'll just do unless you want me to talk about like a day trade here, I'm gonna go into just the daily time frame here and give you like the long-term view here on HBAR if I can. HBAR currently trading at just under 14 pennies. It's down 7% today. I have done previous chart work here. Looks like I highlighted 12.5 cents is an area to look out for on HBAR, because HBAR has been down to 12.5 cents. We saw HBAR at 12.5 cents around June 22nd. And then we saw HBAR at 12.5 cents around April 7th. So those are the lows for the year. If you're trying to short HBAR, you could probably take profit at 12.5 cents. Not too far off from where we are right now, but let's just game plan that out. If you were going to short HBAR right now, and you're taking it down to 12.5 cents, lows for the year, that's only about a 9% gain. I'm not sure if it's really worth taking a short right now. But just something to keep in mind, if you already have HBAR, you could lose another 9% on your investment here. And you'd be just basically bouncing off the lows for the year if you get a bounce in that area. But yeah, I wouldn't really be looking to short HBAR unless, I don't know, you're going to keep your stop loss really tight. Because look, I mean, if I put the stop loss near the highs for today for a short, you're going to lose 9% in that short. And your risk-reward ratio is only 1. Probably have to go into like maybe in the 1 hour time frame here. And maybe put the stop loss at maybe above the 200 moving average. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. If I was going to try to do a short here on HBAR, taking it down to like 12.5 cents here. Yeah, if I put the stop loss at the 200 moving average, that's about a 15% stop loss. I don't want that. Maybe I could take it down to right above the 50 moving average. I mean, I wouldn't really be looking for a short, not when you're already, you know, this thing's already played out. Maybe you wait for the short. Maybe you wait for this thing to get a bounce back up to the 50 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. Get back up to like 15 pennies here. Then you can move your entry to like, you know, 15 pennies roughly. And then you can put your stop loss maybe above the 100 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. So now your stop loss is only 3%. And you got a better risk reward ratio trying to short this thing down to 12.5 pennies. Your risk reward ratio is going to be like 5 because you're only risking 3% to try and get 15% here. Right? Let me see if I can zoom out here. You're risking 3% to try and get 15%, but you have to wait for this thing to climb back up to 15 pennies again and then enter a short. Fort is the ticker for Fort AI. Okay, we'll try to take a look at Fort AI for you. Let's take a look at Fort. Florida. Okay, there it is. It's on Coinbase. Let's see. Is Coinbase the other one that's on? I think I want to take a look at it on Mexi Exchange because usually Mexi gets the coins before Coinbase does. All right, so let's get into the daily time frame here. What the hell is going on here? Of course, you would request a coin that is up 50%. Up 50% today. I can see why it has your attention. However, this thing was in a downtrend for the longest time here. Looking at the daily time frame, Florida currently trading at 3.5 pennies. I mean, look, this thing was at higher prices last year. Back in like April 2024, this thing was at like 39 cents. So it's had like a 90% drop since then. I don't know what you want to do with this crypto here. Because, yeah, I mean, you had highs here in December of last year at like 20 cents. Making lower highs, low lows. Still on a downtrend. I mean, you're still in the downtrend. The only thing you really done here is you got above the 21 EMA on the daily time frame here. But look, I mean, it's done this before in the past where here in June it got above the 21 EMA. It even got above the 200 moving average for a little bit there, only for the next day to lose everything that it gained. Well, for the most part, it did lose everything. It took a few more days, but yeah, it lost pretty much everything that it gained here in June. So I think you're just going to get another fake out here. I mean, you already kind of are getting that fake out right now. You got a candle wick to the high, a candle wick high here on Florida, where this thing almost got up to the 50 moving average, not quite, and now you're already getting pushed down. So, I'm not sure what are you trying to do with Florida? Are you trying to buy it? Are you trying to long? Or are you trying to short it? Because this thing has been a really good short all throughout the year. It's been in a bear market this all throughout the year. But here's the thing, even shorting it can be kind of a pain in the ass to do, because you'd be like, all right, so let's just say like you shorted this, right? You shorted it like right over here, okay? You shorted it like on March 2025 at like 9 cents, okay? And you'd be like, yeah, my short's playing out. Look at this, I'm making money. And then all of a sudden, one day, you know, this thing gets your short goes past your break even, and you end up losing if you have your stop loss. This thing is not even a good short either. It's not a good anything. It's not a good short or a good long. You would have to short this thing and then put your stop loss way high, because every time you get these candlewick highs, you'll get taken out. So like you would have to put like if you were shorting it, you have to put your stop loss at the previous candle wick high. In this case, like here in December of last year, this thing was at 20 cents. So you have to put your stop loss at like 20 cents, even though you probably shorted it at like 14 cents or even like 11 cents. You have to put it that high because this thing could come in and take out your stop loss, even when you're shorting it. But as far as like trying to go long on Forta, I mean, I wouldn't do it today because you already got the move up. But had you like long yesterday when this thing was trading at like 2 cents roughly, I mean, you have to game plan to take profit anytime you hit that green line, that 50 moving average. Always acts as resistance every time you get up to it. You'd be lucky if you get up to the 200 moving average at like 6 cents, but the 50 moving average at like 5 cents would have been your target. But you couldn't even do that today. You actually you got close to it, but not really. So I'm not sure how I would trade this thing. I would just wait until this thing comes back down, you know, a few more days from now. But then when it comes down, it still bleeds off. You're still in a downtrend on Forta. So I mean, this thing is garbage. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I know you're new to the channel, and I don't want to detract you from making requests here, but I would be lying to you if I told you this thing is not garbage. This is garbage price action. Trying to short it is almost as impossible as trying to long it. And in longing it, I mean, you could be getting the bottom, but then this thing is still trending down. It could just continue going down to 1 penny on you. So I would look for something else for a trade. For definitely not an investment at this point. All right. We had was there a request for Algorand? And let's see what else are we saying here. Brad wants to look at XDC. I guess we can look at XDC here. Yeah, sure. And then we got a request for Stark. All right, let me go ahead and write these down. Kind of get into the request part of this live stream here. So we got to look at XDC, and then we got to look at Stark. Lorraine wants to look at the price of gold. Okay. Why gold, Lorraine? What is it about gold that you like? I know gold has been doing pretty well this year, but I think it finally got the correction that I was looking for or been waiting for. Did I get filled on my short on Bitcoin? Let's see. Let's get into a 5-minute time frame here. I think I did get filled. I think I'm in the trade now. Yeah, I'm in the short on Bitcoin now. Shorted Bitcoin at 89,570. Stop loss at 89,800. So I just put the stop loss above the 21 EMA because the 21 EMA has been acting as resistance on the 5-minute time frame. However, looking at the MACD is showing buying pressure increase, and I could get stopped out of my short. See, if I do get stopped out, I'm only going to lose 10 bucks on the short on Bitcoin here. And if I get stopped out on Bitcoin on this short, I mean, we'll see what happens next here. Do we come up to this 50 moving average? I could try to short that, or I could try to short one of these other moving averages up above. I don't know, we shall see. But let me get back into the requests here. We'll take a look at XDC. On Bitstamp? Sure, why not? XDC currently trading at almost 5 pennies here. A little bit below 5 pennies, down 3% today. I'm on the daily time frame for XDC. And you can see XDC has been in a downtrend ever since July, earlier this year. We topped out at, how high did we get up to? 10 cents. Jeez, we've been higher than that too. We've seen this thing get as high as like 15 cents in January of this year. And I have a Fibonacci tool that I drew in, I drew it from like 2 cents is where this thing was trading at in October of last year. And we had that nice little, altcoin season bull run towards the end of 2024. And that was the high water mark there in January for XDC. So that's where I came up with this Fibonacci, but we're below. On the Fibonacci, we're below the 0.236 retracement level. So how much further down is this thing going to go down? We're like near the lows for the year. We haven't been this low since November of last year. I'm going to go ahead and try to do the VRVP on this one. The VRVP indicator, see where there might be some support here. Okay, so the VRVP indicator, it's this green and red bar indicator to the right. Shows you the buys and the sells. The green is the buy, the reds are the sells, and it shows you what price people were buying and selling at. Gives you an idea of like where there might be a lot of demand or support. And looks like, as I start to zoom in here, the price is in like kind of like no man's land, where if we drop down the lower prices, we could see maybe 4.5 cents here on XDC, where you got a little bit of volume here on the VRVP indicator, but you got a bigger high volume node here at about 0.042 pennies. So maybe 0.042 pennies is where you could try to buy if you're trying to buy this asset here. And that's the same area that we were at back here in November of last year. So whoever bought here in November, they're in profit right now. But they'll be at break even if we get down to 0.042 pennies, and they're not going to click the sell button, especially if they've been in it for about a year. They're not going to click the sell button unless we lose 4 pennies here. If we lose 4 pennies, then this thing's probably going to drop even further. And if it does lose 4 pennies, then you could come down as low as like 3 pennies. So there you go. Those are your targets if you're trying to short this thing. You could take it down to 4 pennies right now. And if you lose 4 pennies, then you're going to probably come down to 3 pennies. There's not much support. There's nothing here at like 3.5 pennies. There's no support between 4 and 3 pennies. That'd be a really good short to take, actually. But you didn't really tell me on XDC if you want to long or short it. Vernon over here wants to look at Stark, and he says he's looking at it for a short. Dizzle says FOMC minutes, meeting minutes are in 1 hour, and then we got Nvidia earnings later on today. Jarvis said I might be in my short now. Yeah, I actually did. Thank you, Jarvis, for paying attention to that. I am in the short now on Bitcoin. Kind of pays to be patient, right? But I don't know. I mean, if Bitcoin continues climbing up to higher prices, I'll get stopped out for a small loss, though. Thank you for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Tariq is asking, are we hitting rock bottom soon? Tariq, we could go, if we don't hold 88K, we could go down to 84K on Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto's in the chat here on TikTok. He says if they continue to trade with Web 2 market models, they are migrating to decentralized Web 3 protocol. Okay. Satoshi Nakamoto, are you speaking Spanish there? I know a little bit of Spanish, but it's un poquito. Un poco. Alright. Tariq says, you're talking about the altcoins? The altcoins bottoming out. I mean, the altcoins are going to follow, Bitcoin's lead for the most part. So if Bitcoin goes down, usually the altcoins go down with it. You know, I haven't looked at Bitcoin dominance. What is Bitcoin dominance looking like? Because that should show you if altcoins are bottoming out. Since we came up with that question here. Oh wait, no, I didn't need to do that one. BTC.D. There we go. Let's see. Market cap dominance here on Bitcoin. It is steadily increasing. It was starting to decrease towards beginning of November here. Looks like Bitcoin on the daily time frame, the market cap dominance is catching some support here on the 50 moving average, and if this thing starts climbing back up again, I mean, that probably means altcoin season is coming to an end. And I would call it the end of altcoin season, if you even want to call it altcoin season. If the market cap dominance for Bitcoin gets back above this 200 moving average, then I would say that's the end of altcoin season. The beginning of altcoin season was when we lost the 200 moving average on the market cap dominance. When that was around like the middle of July here. We had like a little bit of an altcoin season, kind of sort of during the summer in July and August. You know, we actually seen what, Ethereum go up to the new all-time high of 49.50 in August. I believe that was August, right? But yeah, that was your altcoin season, the beginning of altcoin season, if you want to call it that, this summer. And that was because we lost, you know, the Bitcoin dominance. Like, the Bitcoin dominance dropped down significantly. Money was going into altcoins. But we bottom out here on market cap dominance here on September 14th. And since then, altcoin season has been dying off. And I think the trend is still to the up. The trend is that market cap dominance for Bitcoin is going to continue increasing here. And I think you'll get the end of the altcoin season later on this year, if it didn't already happen already. Alright, let's move on from XDC. We got to take a look at Stark, and then the price of gold. Oh, Starknet actually going up in price while the rest of these cryptos are going down. So I'm just looking at the daily time frame here. Stark is at 25 cents, up 21% today, up 4 pennies. And I have looked at this chart earlier. There was a resistance area that I looked at. Looks like Stark punched through the resistance back here in November 7th. So I could get rid of this now. You punch through the resistance, you got above the moving averages, and basically the resistance was all these moving averages that were above it. You back tested the moving averages here around like November 13th and November 14th, and now you just shot up to higher prices here on Stark. Could Stark go higher? I don't know. Let's take a look. So I start to zoom out here. I'm going to try to gather the VRVP indicator here. Now, Stark did see some high prices here in December where this thing got up to like 80 cents. But I'm going to pull up the VRVP indicator here. It's going to probably give me ideas like where the support and resistance might be. Value area high so far is at 21 cents. You're above it. So Stark could be considered overvalued right now because you're above the value area. Majority of people bought Stark at this blue line here at 13 cents. So everybody here majority of people are in profit, except for the ones that bought last year. But the majority of people that bought Stark all throughout, you know, since April 2025, they're all in profit right now. So they might start taking profit if this thing starts dropping down. If it drops down to this value area high at 21 cents, that might be an area where you could try to buy some Stark, because there is a good amount of people that actually bought it there at 21 cents. So if you're looking for a pullback, maybe 21 cents could be an area where you could buy some Stark. I believe that was the price that it was at earlier today. All right, but anyways, if Stark continues going up to higher prices here, there's not that much volume here, not much resistance until you get to like 35 cents. This thing could jump up to 35 cents, and that's an area that Stark was trading at back here in like September, October of last year. The people here, they might be a little bit anxious to click the sell button on you because they've been underwater since like January. And if the Stark gets up to like 35 cents, they'll be back at break even and they can actually get out and not lose money on their investment here. So I think 35 cents is where Stark goes next to the upside. Laureen says gold usually goes up when Bitcoin goes down. I wouldn't really try to make that correlation. But gold has been going up this entire year, and I think the reason, it has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It has to do with the tariffs, right? Because tariffs, when they introduce tariffs, that actually makes the US dollar, stronger. But it also makes companies have to pay more money. So companies are losing profits right now because they have to pay those tariffs. And it takes away some of the shine and sparkle of being in any of these companies. Even though like the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq have gone up, it's only like the top 10 companies in those indices. A lot of companies have been struggling because of the tariffs. So it's really hard to make money in stock market unless you're in like, the big magnificent seven is what they call it. If you're in like Apple or Google or Nvidia or something like that, then you're actually making money in the stock market. So because it's hard to make money in the stock market because of tariffs, some people turn to gold. They try to buy gold, and then the government shut down because they basically are running out of money. In order for them to continue running, the government, they have to actually take out more debt, and that makes that makes the dollars that are out there worthless and causes inflation, and that's one reason why gold is going up as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at the price of gold since you mentioned it and you requested it. So we're now looking at the price of gold currently trading at $4,085. Let me get rid of some of this previous analysis here. And I'll even get rid of the VRVP for now. Alright, so zooming in on the price of gold. Gold, from what I identified, is in a symmetrical triangle right now. You do have an uptrend giving you some higher lows here. However, you do have a downtrend that's giving you lower highs here. I think we bounced off of the uptrend here. Gold might try to creep up to higher prices here in the next few days here, where it might get rejected and make a lower high somewhere in there like 4,150, which is where this 0.786 retracement's at. So I think gold right now is going to probably do something like this, where we come up and we get rejected, make a lower high, and then we come down, retest the uptrend here, make a higher low, and then just continue kind of ping-ponging back and forth until we have to make a decision. We're going to probably see some resolution towards the first week of December here. But yeah, the price of gold, it could just continue being frustrating where it just goes sideways. It could go sideways, and that'd be one way for it to get out of this symmetrical triangle. I don't know what's going to cause the price of gold to start shooting up here, besides maybe like a war with two countries that are, two big countries that possibly have nukes or whatever. Okay, maybe Russia, something with Russia and NATO sparks fear in the market, and we could see the price of gold go up to higher prices here. That'd be one way to break out of this symmetrical triangle that you're in. Another thing is that the price of gold just might not do anything but just go sideways here out of this symmetrical triangle, which I already showed you here. But the price of gold could drop down as well. So, the symmetric triangle doesn't really give you much to work. I mean, prices could go up, down, or sideways here. But I'm just trying to game plan this out. Like, I think right now, price of gold is showing that there's really not much going on here for gold. I would expect this thing to go sideways unless we get really bad news, or if, what could take away from the price of gold, like what could cause gold to actually go down to lower prices here, is if we get some good news about the economy and the markets. If the Federal Reserve lowers interest rates, then that takes away some of the spark of being in gold, right? Because if they lower interest rates, then some of these companies like Google and whatever, Microsoft, they're gonna make more money. There's gonna be more money to be had in the markets here. Mortgage companies will be able to issue out more mortgages. So you'll see stocks like Rocket Mortgage actually going up to higher prices. You'll see car companies be able to sell more cars because interest rates are going down. So if they actually lower interest rates, that could cause the price of gold to go down, because people would take the money, take their profits from gold and go put it into like Ford or GM or any other company that makes money, because it'll be a lot easier for them to make money with lower interest rates. So I think that could be the reason why gold actually goes down in price, if they actually lower interest rates. Ghost is asking me, what's the bottom for Bitcoin? I don't know. We're all trying to figure that out, right? Right now, Bitcoin is trading at 88,900. I've already said earlier in this live stream, I think Bitcoin could come down to $84,000 if 88K can't hold up. And that's using the VRVP indicator here. This indicator off on the right. We got 88K as a high volume node here on the VRVP. There's some volume. You see a little bit of a hump here at like 87, 88K. And there's a little bit of gap here at 85K. So I'm not sure if 85K is going to hold, but you start getting more of a hump here at 84K and 83K. So, we'll see if 87, 88 holds up here. If it doesn't, then we're going to probably see if we get some support at 84, 83K here. And even if you don't want to use a VRVP indicator, you can just look at previous price action. You can see, like, back here in April, there were people that were buying and selling Bitcoin at 84K. So 84K should hold up as support, because the people that were buying here in April, they're still in profit right now. But if Bitcoin goes down to 84K, they're only going to be at break even. So they're not going to be anxious to hit the sell button unless we lose 84K. Everybody always asks me about the VRVP indicator whenever I turn it on. Okay, so this indicator, this green and red indicator on the right, that's the VRVP indicator, the Visual Range Volume Profile indicator. I actually made a video of it. Since you're on TikTok, I'll show you it on TikTok. If you go into the Meet Damien TikTok page, let's see if I can just refresh this here. Here's my videos. But I have done a video on the VRVP indicator that explains you as best as I can about the VRVP indicator, and I pinned that video to the top of the page, so you'll always be able to see it. And if I click on it, you'll see me talk about the VRVP indicator and you'll be able to see how I trade using the VRVP indicator, and then also how to set it up.
The value area low is going to be,
it's like a 16-minute video, but it's on my TikTok. You can check it out. So go ahead and check out that video when you can. Learn more about the VRVP indicator and how to set it up and how to trade with it. I think I'll try my best to show you how I set it up. So if I go into indicators here, right? First of all, let me get rid of the indicator, the VRVP indicator right now. But if I go into indicators here and I type in VRVP, you can see there it is, the Visual Range Volume Profile. It's one of my favorites. You might want to add that to your favorites here on TradingView. If I click on that, Okay, so this is what the VRVP indicator is going to look like if you click on it for the first time. It doesn't really look the same as my indicator, right? Right. Like you got like big blocks here. And what I do to set it up is I go into the settings here on VRVP indicator. And I go into the inputs here. And I want the row size to be, I just added 0. I want 240. So when I click 240, you'll see now I can start seeing some of these gaps in the VRVP data here, okay? So you want to put 240 as your row size here. And then another thing that I do, if I go back into the settings here, go into style, I want the value area high and the value area low to show up. So I click on those, the VAH and the VAL. And then I also want the point of control, the POC in there. And just to make it a little bit different than the value area high and value area low, I want that to be blue so it sticks out on the chart. And that is how I set up my VRVP indicator here. So now it looks like this, okay? I got the value area low, that white line. I got the POC, that blue line. And I got the value area high, is that white line up top here. And I got, you know, the VRVP indicator showing 240 rows. So I can see where those gaps are. I can see where the high volume nodes are at, high volume node. And the highest volume node is going to be where this POC is at. Should be where the most support is going to be if it's below you. And if this POC was above us, then that would probably be where the resistance is going to be. Alright, Matthew Campbell's in the chat. He's asking me about XRP for today. Buy more, hold, or sell is his question. Alright, let's take a look at XRP. XRP. Alright, XRP currently trading at $2.03. I got the VRVP indicator here. Why not? Let's see what this thing is showing for us. So we're actually near the value area low for XRP. You would think this is about as low as the price as you could possibly get here for XRP. So believe it or not, I would be looking for a long because you're near the value area low. POC is right above you at 218. So majority of people did buy XRP at 218. That's going to be short-term resistance if we do climb back up to that level there. But yeah, I would be looking for a long, but you know, you can put your stop loss really tight on XRP. I wouldn't use this candle wick low here because that's a little bit ridiculous here, but maybe I would probably use the low back here in June where XRP got down to $1.90. So if you want to buy XRP right now, you probably put your stop loss at like $1.89. You put your stop loss at $1.89, that means XRP has to go below $1.89 for you to get stopped out. And if it does that, it probably means like the bull run is over here on XRP. Because the lows for the year was, you know, the lows for the year was $1.90, you know, for the longest time here. Actually, I take that back. We actually had some lows here in April. But, you know, just game playing this out, if we're not able to hold here at $1.90 for XRP, then I mean, how much lower does it need to go before you give up on trying to long XRP? I wouldn't fault you for trying to long XRP right now. I think it's a worthwhile bet. Okay. However, I would just put the stop loss at like $1.89, and if you get stopped out, then you know there's something wrong with XRP, and you probably don't want to stick around to find out. But trying to short it, I mean, if you were to sell your spot bags right now, you're selling it near as low as it possibly get. It could possibly go down to $1.90 and go even lower. But I mean, if you were worried about, you know, XRP going into a downtrend and going into a bear market, then I mean, you should have been on this live stream, you know, a few weeks ago, because I was already worried about XRP back here towards the end of October. Let me get rid of the VRVP indicator now. But, you know, when we lost this 200-day moving average, I was like, uh-oh. That was my red alert when we lost it on October 10th. But, you know, that was a big liquidation sale for a lot of cryptos. But then when we came back, we tried to get above the 200-day moving average, and then we lost it again here around like Halloween time, around the last week of October. This was the last warning signal, like, you need to get out of XRP. And if you did, you would have got out at like $2.60. This was like the signal. When we back tested the 200-day moving average and lost it, ugh, that was your time to get out of XRP. Now, you know, you're just creating lower highs and lower lows here on XRP as you start to go into the beginning of a bear market. My criteria for, you know, there's two qualifications that I need to see for a bear market. One of the qualifications is, are you lower than 20% from your all-time high? Well, yeah, you are, because, you know, XRP got up to like 366, and for you to come down to like 260, that is more than 20% from the all-time high, okay? And then the other qualification for a bear market is, are you below the 200-day moving average? And you did that here towards the end of October, and that was your signal to get out of XRP. Now, you know, XRP is in a bear market, and I mean, yeah, you're waiting for a bounce, and if it bounces up, I mean, most likely it'll try to bounce up to that white line, that 21 EMA at 232, and that might be a better time to try to sell your spot bags on XRP. You'd be lucky if you get back up to the 200-day moving average at 263 and be able to sell your spot bags there, because right now it's looking like a bear market for XRP. And crypto, all the cryptocurrencies are kind of in the bear market, except for a select few that are actually trying to buck the trend right now. But yeah, I mean, you could sell now because it could go lower. I mean, the trend is down, is to the downside. You're making lower highs and lower lows. So, but I mean, yesterday would have been a better day. You know, when you saw a green candle, I would try to wait for a green candle to show up on the daily time frame and then sell if you feel like you need to get out of XRP. Philip James says it's not a bear markout, just a shakeout. I mean, you've been making lower highs since the summer, and you've been making lower lows. You could have said, "Oh, this is a shakeout. It's just a shakeout," and then you make a lower high. "Oh, this is just a shakeout. This is a shakeout," and then you make a lower high. And then, "Oh no, this is a shakeout. I swear to God, guys, this is just another shakeout." And then you make a lower high. "Oh my God, it's a shakeout." Lower high. Hey, it's a shakeout. I mean, how many times do you have to get shaken out? How many times do you have to get shaken before you get shaken out? Like, it's a downtrend. You're making lower highs and lower lows. It's a bear market. You're making lower highs, lower lows. You're below the 200-day moving average. You're in a bear market, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I mean, maybe you need to get shaken out again some more. Maybe you need to see, you know, XRP go down to $1.50, right? And then you can say that's a shakeout, right? And then maybe you can see XRP go down to $1 and then say that's a shakeout. Let's see. Well, Phillips, I like to know, what is your definition for a bear market? Because no one actually tells you when you're in a bear market. No one actually tells you when to sell. The charts tell me when to sell. Okay, the chart told me to sell XRP when it lost the 200-day moving average in the end of October here. That's when it told me, like, you need to get out. You need to get out of XRP here when you lost that 200-day moving average. Other than that, I mean, you're just gambling. Like, you have no parameters, no criteria, no strategy. Like, what is the strategy now? Okay, what is the strategy now as XRP continues going down to lower prices? What is the strategy? If you're not gonna stick to rules here, where my rule is you lose the 200-day moving average, you're in a bear market, then what is your definition of a bear market? Down 50%? Down 80%? Do you have to wait until you're down 80% and then you call it a bear market? Because in the traditional markets, in stock market world, right, If you're down 20%, they call that a bear market. And if that's the case, you know, then you know, XRP was as high as 366 in July. Down 20% was when XRP got down to 291. So like XRP was in a bear market in October. According to the traditional finance, when you're down 20%, you're in a bear market. Okay. My other qualification is not only do you have to be down 20%, but then you also have to be down below the 200-day moving average. So, you know, I have two qualifications. Are you down more than 20%? And are you also down below the 200-day moving average? If you are, then my qualification, my rule says that you are in a bear market. If you're below the 200-day moving average and also below more than 20% below your all-time high. That is my qualification for a bear market. That's my definition of a bear market. Yes, I was in the 2022 bear market. I remember that one as well. And I bought Solana at like 16 bucks after FTX crashed, after the FTX bankruptcy. I bought Bitcoin at $17,000. I'm not perfect. I didn't get $15,000. I would have loved to get Bitcoin at $15,000, but I bought at $17,000, and then I bought Ethereum at like $1,000, and then I sold them last year. You know, I sold Solana at 200 bucks. I sold Ethereum at like I think Ethereum was trading at like 2,800 or something like that. And then I sold my Bitcoin last year at like 70K. And then I didn't sell all of it. I still kept some Solana. You know, I was able to sell some of my Solana at 230 bucks, 250 bucks. So yeah, I made some good trades earlier this year. What happened to my music? Got a little bit low there. We still got the music going on? Yeah, we got the music. All right, cool. So, yeah, I know you guys are holding on to the hopes and dreams that, you know, Bitcoin and crypto can go to higher prices, and I hope it does. But you know, Bitcoin is in a bear market because Bitcoin is also below its 200-day moving average, and Bitcoin is also more than 20% below its all-time high of 126K. Let's see. Let's measure out what Bitcoin is at right now. Bitcoin is about 29% below its all-time high. And it's also below the 200-day moving average. So Bitcoin's in a bear market as well. Now, you know, bear market, it could be, according to my rules, right? All you got to do is get above the 200-day moving average and you're back to being a bull market. So if Bitcoin can just, like, you know, today go right back up to 110K, then I would say the bear market's over on Bitcoin, right? You're back above the 200-day moving average. You're no longer in a bear market anymore. Okay, and this bear market could have been just a few weeks here. Okay, kind of had the same thing going on, like back here when Bitcoin was below the 200-day moving average in April of earlier this year. I was saying that, yeah, we could be starting the beginning of a bear market here, but then, you know, Donald Trump took his tariffs off. He put a pause on tariffs, and that allowed us to shoot up to higher prices here. And when once Bitcoin got above the 200-day moving average here in April, towards the end of April earlier this year, that's when I was like, all right, we're no longer in a bear market. We're now back to being in the bull market again. Okay, but then lose that 200-day moving average, I have to go back and say we're in a bear market again. So those are my rules. That's how I qualify what a bear market is. Tariq says, it's a shame these influencers are telling people to buy the dip. Well, you know, you could buy the dip if you have a long-term horizon and you think Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million in the next 5 to 10 years, then this could be a relatively good price to get in at, because you just don't know, you know. What if we do get good news about, you know, interest rates going down next month? What if we do get some good news about the markets here, the economy? I feel like we got a lot of good news this month. We had crypto ETFs. They lowered interest rates last month. We had a China trade deal, and that did nothing for Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks here. So when good news gets sold off, that's a bear market, guys. That's another bear market when good news gets sold off. When good news gets sold and bad news gets sold, that's a bear market. A bull market is like good news causes us to go up, and bad news gets, it gets shaken off, like, oh, it's just temporary, and then we still go up. That's a bull market, in my opinion. Good and bad news doesn't affect the price. Price still goes up. In this case, bad news send us down, and good news is also sending us down. So that's a bear market. Yeah. Yeah, RNT Customs. I agree with you. News is just a catalyst. Yeah, the price is already baked into the charts. Yeah. And yeah, all you gotta do is read the charts to figure out, where the prices are gonna go next. And right now, it's just looking really bad here on Bitcoin, really bad. As you can see, all the altcoins are also following down, except for a few. Zcash is up slightly, 0.88%. Yeah, a lot of these altcoins just getting hammered. Getting wrecked. And it's crazy because I know some of you have bought some of these altcoins. Some of these altcoins are down 90%, and you guys are now finding out that even when it goes down 90%, it can still go down another 90% from when you bought it at. I've had that happen to me before too. Thinking I'm buying a good deal. Oh, it's down 90%, and then it goes down another 90% on you. Let's get into the 15-minute chart. Is there any hope here for Bitcoin to get a bounce? Like 88K is my take profit on the short that I'm in on Bitcoin. Let's see. Is there any hope? I'm on the 15-minute time frame here. We are making lower lows on the price. I'm trying to see if there's any bullish divergence. There is lower lows here on price on the 15-minute time frame. However, we are starting to see possible higher lows here on the RSI. I guess there are some buyers that are trying to step in right now. So whoever's buying out there, thank you. You're helping support the price of Bitcoin. However, this thing could continue coming down, making lower lows while still making higher lows on the RSI. And creating a little bit of bullish divergence here. So we're starting to see a little bit of bullish divergence forming here on Bitcoin. That's good to see. Let's see. On the MACD, selling pressure got peaked out here around 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Selling pressure is starting to die down. But here's the thing, on the MACD indicator, selling pressure could die down, but then start increasing again. Like you saw back here on Tuesday, where selling pressure was dying down, then it increased, died down, then it increased again, then it died down Wednesday morning, while probably most of you were sleeping, and then we saw a MACD flip where buying pressure was increasing before it started dying off again. Okay, so we'll pay attention to see what the MACD does. Selling pressure is dying down, so you would think like, all right, maybe there might be some hope that we're seeing the lows for today. We shall see. And then on a 15-minute time frame, let's see, on market cipher B, money flow has been decreasing, but looks like it's starting to increase a little bit. You got a little bit of curve to the upside, and you got a buy green dot that came in at 1:45 Eastern time, about a few minutes ago. Green buy dot came in. All right, we'll pay attention. We'll pay attention to that. Because it could do something like it did here on Tuesday, where we got a green buy dot. Money flow was increasing, and then money flow started decreasing again, and then you got that red dot. So it could do something like that, where it just comes back down again. But it leads me to believe that maybe I should take some profit on my short that I'm in on Bitcoin. I could probably take half off on my short, maybe. Let's see. I'm up about 24 bucks, 25 bucks right now. And a 40x short on Bitcoin. Shoot, I might even just take it all off and then try to re-enter again. I think I'm gonna do that. I'll do a little flash close. I'll make $24 on this short. Boom, 25 bucks. I'm out of the short right now. Okay. And if I felt inclined to, if I feel like we're still going to go down to lower prices here, I'll try to re-enter the short again at that 21 EMA, like I did back here about an hour ago, where you guys saw, I got filled near the 21 EMA on the 5-minute time frame at 89,570, and then I bought back in again at 89,000. So I could just do that all over again, just rinse and repeat. Short at the 21 EMA is now sitting at 89,250. And then try to, make some money shorting again here. Theodore Notice, follow me here on the live. Thank you for following me here on TikTok, Theodore. And Ella, thank you for following me here on TikTok as well. Getting a few more followers here. Thank you. RNT says that we're gonna go back down to 77K. Yeah, that's an area that I am looking for if we do go down to that price. And that will complete the 5 waves. So is that Elliott wave you're talking about there, RNT? Sounds like you're talking about Elliott waves there. HDZZ says you're down 50% on your portfolio. Yeah, it's pretty brutal right now. You say that crypto's done for, it just dumps no matter all the good news and the projects. Yeah, when we get good news and price doesn't go up, that's bearish. But also good news could also be a sell the news event. Very counterintuitive. You would think, oh, it's good news, people should be happy, but usually the price goes up ahead of the good news and then it gets sold off when the news comes out. So that's one thing you got to take into account when you're trading and investing here. Sell the news. They say buy the rumor, sell the news. All right, so it looks like Bitcoin climbing up. I'm just watching the 21 EMA right now on the 5-minute time frame here. I might enter a short if we get above this 21 EMA. And then I can put the stop loss really tight. I can probably put the stop loss below the last high here on the 5-minute time frame. Looks like we came as high as 89,690, so I could probably put the stop loss to like 89,690 or 89,700, just to make it a clean, even number. And yeah, if I was to short this again, I would probably try to short it at that 21 EMA at 89,250, or maybe I wait till like 89,300, because sometimes it does like do a little. It'll jump above the water, kind of like a fish or a dolphin, where it'll do like a dolphin dive, where it'll come up above the 21 EMA and then dive back down again, and then come back up again above the 21 EMA, dive back down again. So I might wait for this to go, jump out of the water here, to use an analogy. Jump out of the water, jump above the 21 EMA, then short it, and then try to take this down to lower prices. But yeah, you can see, good thing I got out of that short, because we are climbing back up now again. I can go get a better entry again. Do it all over again. But you gotta be careful. When shorting becomes a little bit too easy and predictable, that's when you get a reversal. And then the longs get like a bounce. And they get a chance to make some money. Right now, over the last few hours, the shorts have been making money. The longs have been losing money. Is Hulk Smash still in the chat? I'm trying to see who's still in the YouTube chat here. And is Laureen and Matthew still there? We got a few people in chat there. Oh, Hulk Smash is still here. Hulk, what are you into for trades right now? I know you were trying to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. Are you trying to scoop some more up at like 88K or 84K? Just a little bit curious what your trading plan is. I can tell you guys, I'm being bearish now and I'm shorting, but I was hoping for Bitcoin to do a bounce up to 100K, and then when it did, I was going to sell some more of my Solana bags. I do have some Solana spot bags to get rid of, and I also got some Sui as well. So I was hoping for prices to go up just like everybody else, but this is what we're getting right now. You can have your hopes, dreams, and plans, but the market's going to do whatever the market's going to do. Right now, the market wants to go lower on us. We're getting a little bit of bounce here on the 5-minute time frame. I'm looking to see if that 21 EMA comes into play again, and I'm gonna wait for this thing to jump out of the water here. Try to get a short, and then make some more money on the next short. $89,250. There we are. $89,250. 21 EMA says we need to get to $89,265 is where this 21 EMA is hanging out at. I might enter one more short here for you guys. I gotta check something up here on my phone here. All right. Alright, I'm back with you guys. So I'm just looking for a quick scalp short right now, Tariq. I gotta see some more bullish divergence. I would love to see a higher low get formed on Bitcoin. And then I can actually go long on Bitcoin. So far, it's like every time you try to get into a low, if you're trying to get into a long, you're like, hey, I think I got the low. And then it goes lower. Right? Oh, alright, we're getting some reaction off the 21 EMA. I was kind of hoping to see if this thing would go above it, but it looks like we're getting rejected off the 21 EMA. That's unfortunate because I was trying to short it. I mean, I could have put my short in at the 21 EMA, but I was trying to see if this thing would, jump above the water here, jump up above that white line. But we got rejected. Like literally, it went right to the T. 89,265. And the EMA was at 89,002. So we only went like $3 above the 21 EMA. And then we got rejected. Oh, look at this. Oh. Here we go. Here we got a green candle here. Are we going to jump above the water? Jump above the water, please. I'm trying to catch the fish when it jumps above the water. So I guess this is like the 21st century version of fishing here. We're trying to catch some fish as they jump above the water. Jumping above this 21 EMA here. It did it for a short while there, but then it went back in the water again. Crypto Narrow says expect 84K, hopefully lower. Let's see. Yeah, I am expecting 84K, especially if 88K can't hold up. We still haven't gone down to 88K yet. But there could be people showing up to the long party when we get down to 88K here. I know people are paying attention to 88K, such as myself. Hulk Smash is not doing any leverage trades right now, and Matthew is still watching. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, I'm just, I am trying to make money, and this is still fun to me. So I am still trying to leverage trade, but I'm looking for shorts right now just because that's what the charts are showing as the winning trades here. I was trying to long Bitcoin at like 89,200, 89,600 earlier this morning. And then I lost that trade. And we kept going lower, so I was like, all right, well, I guess we still want to go down to lower prices here. We're still playing games with this 21 EMA on the 5-minute time frame here. All right, I think I'll try to get in at 89,300. I'll try to short this at 89,300. Market, no, limit, yeah, limit order, 89,300. And I want to do about 10%. Should give me about, yeah, where's the margin? Yeah, there it is. Margin's right there, 120. Take profit, stop loss. I want, I don't like losing more than $20 on any particular trade. So I'll do 89,000. Actually, I wanted the stop loss to be above the highs here. 89,690 or 700. So I'll just do 89,700 on the stop loss. That's about a $20. I'll lose $20 on the trade if we actually go up that high. And I'm looking for $88,000 for a take profit. It'll give me about $69. How about that for a number, huh? All right. So there we go. Let's try it. 89,300 is my entry on my short. Stop loss 89,700. Take profit. It's gonna be 88,000 if we ever get down there. Let's do it. Let's see. Can we jump up? Can we actually get me filled? Are we gonna fill me? Hey, come on. Just not looking like it wants to do that for me here. Hulk Smash says that charts are telling you 84 to 85 is likely. Jobs report earlier stung a bit. So that jobs report is supposed to come out tomorrow, Hulk Smash. What we got yesterday was unemployment claims. Okay. I'm not sure if you might have misread that, but yeah, tomorrow should be the jobs report for September. And then maybe first week of December, we'll get the jobs report for October and November. I don't know if they're going to skip over October. I think they should at the very least give us a jobs report for October. Uh-oh. Am I about to get filled on my short here? It was trying. Hey, come on. Why you gotta be flirting and teasing me like that? Oh, come on. Playing games here on the 5-minute chart. So last time I read the news, Hulk Smash, they were saying that there's a possibility that they might not do an October jobs report. They said that if they do an October jobs report, they weren't going to do the unemployment rate. That's what I read last time I saw the news article about that. Tariq is asking, is this about you or us, man? Oh no, are we getting a bearish engulfing candle on the 5-minute time frame? Oh my god, look at this. Look at this. They brought this candle, right? to like 89,299 and they didn't fill me. How messed up is that? I could have got filled at 89,300. I was $1 off. They didn't even. They're like, no, screw Damien. Nah, that's a nice idea that you had there, Damien. And they're bringing it back down in the direction that I was planning on it going down. I was planning on shorting it, and yeah. Oh boy. Look at that, guys. Look at that. This candle wick came up to like 89,299, and I could have got filled. I was $1 off from getting filled. December rate cut chances dropped down to 33%. Interesting. So let me see. I'm gonna go into Forex Factory because that's where I get the data for when we're gonna actually get the jobs report, and I'll show you what I'm looking at. Hulk Smash here. Let's see. For tomorrow, I have non-farm employment change, basically the jobs report, coming out 8:30 tomorrow morning, November 20th. And what are they expecting here? They're expecting 53,000 jobs for the month of well, what is it? For September, for the September jobs report. So it says right here, jobs report delayed. September data is set for release on Thursday. Okay, that's what I got here. Jobs report 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. That's going to be the September jobs report. And then what does it say? The report was scheduled for October, but was delayed by a government shutdown. Okay, I can get into the full story, but that's the headline that I got right now. Hulk Smash. Oh, did I get filled on my short? Oh, I think I'm in. Hey, look at that. Look at that. I got filled on my short there. 89,300. Alright, so they played games with me. They made me think like they don't want to show me any love here. They kind of teased me a little bit, and then they gave me the entry for my short here. Oh boy. So there we go. We got the little dolphin dive, or the fish jumping out of the water on the 21 EMA on the 5-minute time frame. I got my stop loss below the last high here on the 5-minute time frame at 89,700. So if we continue climbing up, then alright, whatever, I was wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'm only going to lose about $21 on this, on this short here. But if I'm right and we go down to 88K, I'll make $69 on this short. That's if I stick around, to 88,000. I could always close it, take partial profits, whatever. Right now, it seems like the shorts are winning today. And let's see, is anything going to change? How are we doing on the bullish divergence on the 15-minute time frame here? Let me get back into trading view here. I have identified that we are making lower lows on the price while making higher lows here on the RSI, so buyers are showing up. But the thing is, you could continue making lower lows while still making, you could continue making lower lows on the price while still making higher lows on the RSI. So, but you want to see buyers stepping in, and you want to see the RSI climbing if you're gonna think about longing Bitcoin. And we can always do that later. Like I'm shorting right now, but I could go long later on tonight. Try to buy Bitcoin at 88K and then we ride it up to like 90 or 91K. Who knows? But yeah, selling pressure on the MACD on the 50-minute time frame. This is selling pressure is dying down. So there might be some hope. There might be. We shall see. We shall see. Ugh. I mean, I like making money, but I hate to see it be done this way. I don't want to make money shorting. I want to make money long, and I want to see Bitcoin go to 150, 200K. But that's just not happening. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat on TikTok. Bitcoin 20K, they trying to shake us all out, but you'll be buying till the end. 1.5 trillion, you lost hope. They put all on 1 trillion. Alright. You're going to be buying when you hear people start saying crypto is dead. And you'll be buying Ethereum and Chainlink. Alright. That's usually a good, just paying attention to market sentiment when you hear people are making fun of Bitcoin and crypto, or they call it dead or whatever. That's usually a good time to get in. I don't think people are doing that yet. There are some people saying that Bitcoin and crypto is dead. But when you start hearing it from your friends and family, when they start giving up, that's the best time to get in. Then the time to get out is when people are talking about, super cycles. Not gonna name any names here, but the best time to get out is when you hear people talking about super cycles, when you hear your friends and family saying never sell your crypto. That's usually a good time to sell crypto. When you hear your friends and family telling you like what kind of car or motorcycle or boat they're gonna get with all their profits, that's a good time to take profit yourself. If you're just doing things based off of sentiment, you got to pay attention to those things. Hey, DZ's in the chat. You're not late, DZ. Well, maybe you kind of are. I usually go till like 2 p.m. Eastern time here. But DZ wants to look at Subsquid. We can look at Subsquid. I've been trying to do some live trades here on Mexi, while also taking requests, and we've done some requests. We looked at H-Bar and 4AI, XDC, Stark. We even looked at the price of gold for Loreen. And we'll look at Subsquid for you. Did Subsquid cast some bids? Because it looked like it was getting near the lows for the year. Did it go lower? Let's get into the daily chart here for Subsquid. Currently trading at 5.5 pennies. I think you asked about it last week, and we were looking at this thing when it was trading at like 7 cents. And now we're trading at 5.5 cents. So what the hell? I don't have any more data for Subsquid here. This is at the lowest low for the year. How much lower can this thing go? Jesus. Man, I got the Fibonacci here. This was if we were going to go up to higher prices. I'm going to try to flip the Fibonacci now. Let's see. If I was to, go from the lows from September earlier this year to the high of what? When was that high? October 9th. You got a 1272 fib extension level that says this thing could get down to 68. That is gonna hurt. If we were to drop down to 68 on Subsquid, how much? Oh my god. Are you ready for this? Subsquid could drop down 89%. from where it is right now. So DZ, what is your game plan? Like, are we gonna try to get out? Like, where's your stop loss? Are we gonna try to limit our losses here? Because this thing could drag its ass all the way down to like 68. You could lose another 90% just off of this Fibonacci that I just drew right here. That's like, ugh, the worst of the worst. And if I try doing a VRVP, there's not going to be anything below us because we never been this low. So if I turn on the VRVP, everything is above you. All the data is above. We never been this low before on SubSquid. Let's try to look at oscillators here. Let's see if we can find any bullish divergence. Is there anyone still alive out there? Is there any bullish divergence? Please. Please. Bullish divergence. Lowest RSI that I got here on the daily time frame is September 5th, I believe. It looks like we got as low as 24.47. Right now, your RSI is at 30.58. We did have a low here last Friday at 27.22. This is a bit of a stretch here, but there's ever so slightly higher lows here on the RSI. And of course, you already know, I don't have to tell you this, but we've made lower lows here on the price. So there's possible bullish divergence. Possible. But the thing is that this thing can still go lower. You don't. The thing about bullish divergence is that you can still go lower. Okay. What you really need to see on SubSquid is, are you going to make a higher low? Can we reverse the trend? Can you stop making lower lows? On the daily time frame, the lowest low was actually Monday. We came as low as 0.053 pennies, 533. So maybe you put your stop loss at like 520 or 500, a half a penny. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 pennies maybe. Because I mean, how much lower does it need to go before you give up? I hate to say it like that, but how much lower does it need to go? I don't know. You got to figure that out for yourself. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But if you do catch some bids, you know, there's that white 21 EMA on the daily time frame could act as resistance, and that's your high. If you're trying to offload your SubSquid at higher prices, maybe you could try offloading it at that 7-cent level where that 21 EMA is sitting at. Let's see. Price discovery to the downside, Hoaxmask says. Yeah, that's what's going on right now. And then DZ says, what do I think about a jobs report? Probably a fluke and we rebound tomorrow. Hopefully. The jobs report shows that we're losing jobs. Then that starts reigniting hopes for an interest rate cut in December. We don't want to lose too many jobs, though. We just want it to be weak, but not too weak. Because if it's too weak, then not only will we get an interest rate cut, but then the market, the stock market, and crypto, they're all going to panic because they're going to think we're going into a recession. So we want it to be weak, but not too weak. We want it to be weak enough where they decide to possibly lower interest rates next month. And then we got to see what the CPI report's doing. We got to see inflation coming down. Because if inflation's coming down, and then we also get a jobs report that is weak, but not too weak, then that would be the bullish case that we could possibly get, where we get lower interest rates for next month and get a rebound on crypto, and the stock market can continue stock marketing and going higher, hopefully. But yeah. When's the CPI report? That's a good question. I think it might come out next week. Let me look at the Forex here for you. Gonna try to see. Actually, I should probably look at there's another one that does better data. Market Watch, the economic calendar. Let's see if I can find it on here. All right, so I guess the Fed minutes just came out. They're saying that there's strongly differing views on a December interest rate cut, but I think we already knew that. I'm trying to find your CPI report. CPI. For next week, I don't see anything for next week. PCE report. Looks like we got a PCE report, which is related to inflation, and that is coming out next Wednesday. Yeah, CPI report. Did the CPI report come out last week? Because that's what it's showing at the CPI report. It came out last week. I don't remember hearing about that. Because last week we were just getting over the government shutdown. I would have to look at the news, type in the CPI report, see when that comes out. CPI report. Okay, yeah, we know about that. Jobs report. Bureau of Labor Statistics. So they got the CPI report that came out October 24th. But when's the next one gonna come out? That's why I don't know when is the next release. November's CPI report is gonna come out on December 11th here, and October's report came out. It already came out. It came out November 13th. I guess they did it last Thursday. So there you go. There you got that for the CPI report. Steve Hickey's asking me if I'm in a short. I am in a short. Let's see. I could probably move my stop loss to break even at this point. Maybe. So when I long or short Bitcoin, I like to keep my stop losses about like $400 or $500 away from the current price. So we're at like 88,981. I'll probably move the stop loss to like 89,400. So yeah, let's do that. 89,400. So now I'll only lose $5 on the stop loss if that actually gets triggered. And I just did that. There we go. All right. So that's all part of managing the trade, being good at managing the trade. Let me go ahead and get the music going on because we've done more than 2 hours here. And I got the music going again here. There we go. Bitcoin still dropping down. Lowest price on Mexi exchange. We saw Bitcoin get as low as 88,766. Looks like we're heading right down for that. Ugh, brutal. And my take profit is down here at 88K. It seems like such an easy number. I might take profit as soon as I see Bitcoin get down to like 88.2 or 88.1. I might take profit there because I don't know if it's actually going to hit 88K. There might be some people that decide to front run that and start buying Bitcoin before it hits 88K. Yeah, DZ, I just showed you the CPI report. The next release is saying December 11th, next month. And that's gonna be for November. So yeah, so far that's what we got going on here. Guys, if you're enjoying the live stream and you want to watch me trade live again, let me know in the comments in the chat here. But Yeah, on on the Meet Damien channel here, you guys can come join me here on the Meet Damien channel on YouTube and subscribe to my channel here. And for my TikTok guys, if you want to watch the replay of the live, you can see that right here. Right, you watch all the replays here on YouTube. Okay, and it's great because you just rewind and watch, rewind and watch. And then for my TikTok guys, if you refuse to be a YouTube guy, then you can always follow me here on TikTok. And come join my my followers here on TikTok, where I also go live. I go live on TikTok as well. And I do TA on your favorite stocks and crypto. We talk about crypto a lot because it's like the new kid on the block, fun to talk about. Always something going on in crypto. But I can also talk about stocks as well on the charts as well. Let me see what the follower count looks like now. If I refresh that, maybe we've got a few more followers there. But yeah, that's what I got going on here for TikTok and YouTube. And if you guys want to come join me, I do have a Meet Damien Discord. Link right there is up top on my TikTok page. You just click on that link. It should send you to my Discord. Okay, and then for my YouTube guys, I think I got that in the links as well. Yeah, there's the Discord link right in the description to my channel. But I'm wondering if I should end the live stream. I do have some things to do. I do want to hit the gym, try to get some gains in the gym. And then also try to get some gains here on Mexi Exchange as well. I see what Mexi's doing here. Yeah, I think I did all the requests here. We saw some trades here. Somebody here was talking about Telcoin. You got into Telcoin a few days ago? That's cool, that's cool. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the live stream, guys. Be on the lookout for my next live stream. Going to be probably same time tomorrow. Maybe we'll do some more trades again like we did here on Mexi Exchange. And if you guys are, want to join Mexi Exchange, I do have some links. I gotta put up on YouTube, but I do have some links on my Discord page. And I gotta probably put some links here on TikTok as well. Yeah, I don't think I got the links. Let's see. I got some links here. I got links for like TradingView if you guys want to join TradingView. Let's see. Oh, no, I don't think I want to do that. What the? Oh, I just messed things up there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to start adding some links for Mexi so you guys can join Mexi Exchange. I know I got links for that in the Discord page, but I'm not sure if you guys are gonna be able to see that. I gotta change the channel here so I can show you Discord, but I do have some links. Let's see if I go here, referrals and links. I'm gonna have to change things up here. Give me a second. Give me a second. I gotta edit this. There we go. There's the Discord. So yeah, I have a Meet Damien Discord server. You guys can click on the link to join Mexi Exchange. There's a referral program. You can make some money and I can make some money on the referral. And also I got the link here for TradingView as well. A link here for Coinbase if you guys want to trade on Coinbase. A link here for Kraken if you guys want to trade on Kraken as well. So there you go. And then of course, you guys can always go onto the general chat here and come join the chat on Discord, where we talk about our favorite cryptocurrencies here. I let you guys know when I'm going live. There's a link, so that way you can come join the live stream on YouTube here. And then yeah, we just talk about all kinds of things, and it's a good place to talk about crypto, talk about stocks. If there's a particular crypto you want me to take a look at, I can actually look at that for you when I'm not live. Okay? But yeah, guys. Come join the Meet Damien Discord when you get a chance. And I guess we'll just finish off fire on Bitcoin. And then the live stream, we'll end it on Bitcoin here. Where is that? Oh no! Oh boy. Okay, I just messed things up here. Now I got a blank screen here. Anyways, my final thoughts is that, you know, we'll probably see a bounce here on Bitcoin at 88K, because I feel like a lot of people are eyeballing that level there. And then 84K, if we, you know, can't hold 88K, then we're probably going to see 84K, and that could happen later on today, going into tomorrow and later on this week here. But if Bitcoin is going to put up a fight, it needs to do that now. It needs to do that at 88K, and maybe we can see 90K all over again. But yeah, I just lost my my feed here on YouTube. I just lost it. You guys can see me, but you can't see the charts. I have to play around with this a little bit better, figure things out here. But yeah, that's that sucks. I lost my my feed there. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this live stream. I'm gonna try to play some music, and I will see you guys tomorrow, same time. Take care, guys. Oh, there we go. Hey, I was able to get my feedback there. I just moved my stop loss to break even on my short there, 89,300. Boom, so I'm in a free trade, free short right now. Taking it down to 88K. Let's go. Alright. Good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get into, guys. Take care.